In a darkened war room on a distant starbase, alien commanders discuss Earth's supposed insignificance with contempt, but beneath that arrogance lies humanity's silent, lethal readiness. A symbolic countdown begins, signaling a threat the galaxy never anticipated. Earth's mightiest armada, preparing to arrive and rewrite the balance of power forever. Earth has always been a joke to us, hissed High Commander Zal, eyes narrowed as he stared at the glowing holographic star. Map. A backwater planet, crawling with primitive life. No one expects their pathetic fleets to reach this far. Around him, the Council of Zelvan chuckled, voices dripping with disdain. Why waste resources on a planet so inconsequential? Sneered Ambassador Krith. Our scouts report weak defenses, mere sparks of resistance that will extinguish swiftly. The chamber's atmosphere was thick with arrogance, pride born from centuries of dominance. Outside the vast windows, the glittering void of space seemed to bow to their presumed supremacy. But hidden in a shadowed alcove, the human envoy, Commander Ilara, stood silent, expression unreadable. Her eyes betrayed nothing. Her calm was unsettling. She touched the edge of a small console, activating a discreet countdown, silent but deadly. A faint hum filled the room, unnoticed by the aliens wrapped in their hubris. "You're not ready for what we're bringing," Ilara said quietly, voice cold as space itself. The chamber's lights dimmed and the holographic star map flickered. The power balance was shifting. "They thought no one would come," Ilara whispered, "until Earth's mightiest armada arrived." The galaxy's ruling powers scramble in disbelief as Earth's armada emerges from hidden sectors, shattering assumptions of humanity's weakness. With sleek warships and cutting-edge weaponry, humanity strikes first, crippling enemy supply lines and commanding the battlefield. Ancient Earth's secrets fuel their might, while alien arrogance turns to fear, igniting a war that will decide the fate of countless worlds. The silence of space shattered like glass. From the dark fringe of the Cygnus sector, a fleet of gleaming warships surged forward. Earthborn leviathans, engines humming with raw power, hulls etched with ancient symbols, and weapon arrays that bent light and warped reality. They moved not with desperation, but with cold, calculated precision. The embodiment of a species long underestimated. Commander Ilara stood on the bridge of the Valiant Dawn, flagship of Earth's mightiest armada. Her voice was steady, imbued with a confidence that belied the enormity of what lay ahead. Initiate first, strike protocol, target Dominion supply routes and disrupt their staging grounds. Back on the Dominion's command hub, alarms blared. High. Commander Zal's calm facade shattered as sensor readings flooded his consoles. "Contact! Unknown fleet emerging from the outer rim," he bellowed. "Identify and engage immediately." Screens flickered with images of Earth's warships, slicing through their defenses like shadows of death. "Impossible!" Grith spat. "They should be nowhere near this system." But the human armada showed no mercy. Plasma lances tore through supply convoys, gravity mines shredded battleships, and electromagnetic pulse volleys crippled communication arrays. Galaxy's long-held illusion of human weakness crumbled in fiery explosions and cascading wreckage. Below the surface of Earth, ancient technology hummed to life. Deep in the hollowed caverns beneath the planet's crust, bioengineered sentinels, awakened from millennia of silence, towering beasts clad in living armor, controlled by neural links and battle-hardened soldiers. Deadwalkers, as they were called, were unleashed alongside advanced mech units, tearing through enemy infiltrators attempting sabotage. Lieutenant Haroun led a squad deep in the underground network, coordinating strikes with deadly efficiency. "Secure the tunnels and support orbital forces," he ordered. "We cannot let the Dominion disrupt our supply lines." Humanity's power was not born of firepower alone. In orbital labs, scientists decoded relics found in ancient ruins, secrets of energy manipulation, shield technology, and propulsion. Systems that defied conventional physics. Dr. Kiran Malhotra oversaw the deployment of new weapons, graviton disruptors capable of destabilizing enemy ships from within and adaptive stealth fields masking entire fleets. "This is only the beginning," Kiran told Ilara. "Our ancestors left us gifts we are only now unlocking." The Dominion reeled, morale shattered, fleets scattered, and alliances within their empire began to fray under the shock of Earth's resurgence. Whispers of rebellion spread among conquered worlds, inspired by humanity's fierce stand. Zal's voice grew desperate. "We underestimated Earth. We will pay dearly." Yet even in the darkest hour, the Council refused to yield. "Mobilize all reserves," Zal commanded. "We will crush this threat before it spreads." In the midst of cosmic chaos, unexpected allies stepped forward. The Avir Collective, an enigmatic species known for their neutrality, sent emissaries to humanity. "We recognize your strength and resolve," their leader said in a holographic council. "The galaxy must change. Join us." Ilara weighed their offer carefully, knowing that trust was a rare currency forged in the fires of survival. As battles raged, humanity's armada pressed deeper into enemy territory. The valiant Dawn led daring raids on Dominion command stations, severing supply chains and crippling war machines. Fleet captains reported staggering victories, yet at great cost. Ilara's voice remained steady on comms, her resolve unbroken. "We fight not just for Earth, but for all who dream of freedom." Amidst the fire and shadow, the galaxy watched and waited. No longer dismissed as primitive, humanity had arrived, not with timid hope, but with the full fury of their mightiest armada. The war for the stars had begun. The war escalates as Earth's armada faces the brutal retaliation of the Dominion and its allies. Battles stretch across planets and space alike, revealing humanity's resilience, tactical genius, and terrifying ancient allies. Betrayals and shifting loyalties complicate the conflict, while the true depth of Earth's hidden power begins to surface. The void of space exploded in a kaleidoscope of fire and metal as Earth's armada clashed head-on with Dominion fleets. From the bridge of the valiant Dawn, Commander Ilara's gaze burned into the swirling chaos of warships, missile, trails, and energy blasts. Her voice was calm but commanding. "Hold formation, focus fire on the lead cruisers, protect the transport convoys." Her orders rippled through the fleet as sleek warships pivoted with balletic precision, weaving through torrents of plasma and launching retaliatory volleys. The Dominion, stung by surprise, responded with ruthless vengeance. High Commander Zal unleashed the Dread Serpent battle group, a fleet of monstrous warships bristling with gravitic cannons and shield disruptors. "Designed to tear Earth's vessels apart, break their lines," Zal growled. "Show them the true cost of defiance." The Dread Serpent surged forward, its ships like living predators, striking at the heart of Earth's fleet. Beneath the battlefield, the war raged just as fiercely. Deep underground, in the cavernous warrens, beneath Earth's surface, the Deadwalkers prowled. Their bioengineered sinews glistened in dim light as they moved with lethal grace, ripping apart Dominion infiltrators who dared to threaten Earth's core. Lieutenant Haroon's voice crackled. Through comms, "Deadwalkers engaging enemy squads at Grid 912. Request backup." Human soldiers armed with plasma rifles and energy shields moved alongside their monstrous allies, a blend of primal fury and advanced technology. In the orbital labs, Dr. Kiran Malhotra and his team scrambled to adapt. "We're integrating graviton, disruptors with neural interface controls," he explained. "This will allow pilots to react faster than any alien fleet can anticipate." Ilara nodded. "Our advantage lies in adaptability and surprise. Keep pushing." But the war was not just fire and steel. Political tremors shook the Dominion Empire. Captain Rethnal, once a loyal commander, grew restless under Zal's iron fist. "We cannot win by destruction alone," Rethnal argued in secret councils. "We need diplomacy, alliances beyond conquest." His words fell on deaf ears, but seeds of dissent spread through Dominion ranks. Meanwhile, in the depths of space, whispers of the Veilborn grew. Ancient alien watchers, shrouded in mystery and power, stirred from their long slumber. Their emissaries sent cryptic warnings to both sides. "The war you fight is but the prelude. The reckoning comes." Ilara studied these messages carefully, uncertain whether to trust or fear these shadowy figures. Across battle-scarred planets, Earth's forces scored hard-fought victories. In the shattered remnants of a former colony world, guerrilla fighters launched ambushes that crippled Dominion supply convoys. Leviathans, colossal biomechanical war beasts, rampaged through enemy lines, tearing apart armored vehicles and scattering troops. But victory came with a price. Casualty reports grew grim. Ilara visited the medical bays aboard the Valiant Dawn, where wounded soldiers whispered stories of heroism and sacrifice. She clenched her fists, the weight of command heavy. "We fight for every life lost," she vowed silently, "for every dream extinguished." In a surprise move, Dominion reinforcements arrived from an unexpected quarter. The Qatari, a merciless alien mercenary race, answered the Dominion's call, flooding the war zone with brutal warriors and war machines. Their reputation for cruelty and efficiency preceded them. Ilara prepared her commanders for a new level of brutality. As battle lines shifted, alliances forged and betrayals simmered. The true scale of the war became clear. It was a clash not only of ships and soldiers, but of ideologies, histories, and the fate of the stars. Humanity was no longer the underdog. They were a force that could not be ignored, and their mightiest armada was only just beginning to show its true power. The battlefronts expand across the solar system and deep space, testing humanity's limits and resolve. Ancient Earth secrets intertwine with advanced technology, revealing terrifying weapons and allies. The Dominion's desperation leads to brutal new tactics, forcing humanity to adapt swiftly. Loyalties fracture and unexpected betrayals reshape the war's trajectory as the mightiest armada fights not just for survival, but dominion over the stars. Space trembled under the weight of conflict. The solar system became a sprawling war zone where human ingenuity met alien brutality with relentless force. The stars, once serene beacons in the void, now flickered beneath the blaze of starship cannons and shimmering energy shields. From the bridge of the Valiant Dawn, Commander Ilara surveyed the chaos with unflinching eyes. Around her, the flagship's crew worked with precise urgency, managing sensors, weapon systems, and communications that buzzed with non-stop activity. "Status report," Ilara commanded. Captain Mia Torres, her tactical officer, responded crisply. "Dominion fleet concentration, increasing near Europa's orbit. They're deploying siege platforms and heavy assault cruisers." Ilara's jaw tightened. "Prepare for a multi-vector engagement, deploy Leviathan squadrons in the outer belt, and reinforce orbital defense grids." Meanwhile, below Europa's fractured icy surface, an ancient secret stirred. Deep within subterranean caverns, humans had uncovered relics from a civilization that predated recorded history. Vast crystalline structures pulsed with dormant energy, capable of amplifying power across vast distances. Dr. Kiran Malhotra's team worked feverishly to unlock the vault's potential. "This technology could shift the battle's balance," Kiran explained during a hollow briefing. "If we harness it properly, our ship's shields and weapons will operate beyond current limits." Ilara nodded thoughtfully. "Time is against us. Make it so." Back on the battlefield, the Dominion grew desperate. High Commander Zal, his Arrogance, now tempered by hard-fought defeats, ordered brutal reprisals. "Use the scourge cannons," he commanded, voice grim. "Level entire sectors if we must. No mercy." Orbital bombardments rained down with terrifying power, leveling cities and killing thousands. Human resistance stiffened, yet the cost was evident. On the front line, Lieutenant Haroun led deadwalkers and infantry through blasted city ruins. "Watch your flanks," he shouted. "They're using heavy artillery. Get to cover." Explosions rocked the ground. Debris flying as Dominion artillery rained destruction. The deadwalkers moved with terrifying precision, their bioacid claws eating through armor and reinforced walls. Haroun marveled at their relentless fury, a blend of primal terror and advanced engineering. As the war expanded, alliances were tested. The Ever Collective deepened cooperation with humanity, sharing starship blueprints and advanced tactics. However, tensions simmered within their ranks. Some Avir elders feared humanity's growing power threatened the Galactic balance. Their emissaries cautioned, "The reckoning has only begun. Beware what lies beyond the stars." Unexpectedly, the Qatari mercenaries launched a devastating raid on human supply lines near Mars. Their war machines, relentless and brutal, overwhelmed outposts with ruthless efficiency. Captain Mia Torres barely escaped with her squadron. "We underestimated their ferocity," Torres reported, wiping sweat from her brow. "We need to recalibrate tactics immediately," Ilara responded. "Adapt or perish. We will hold." Political intrigue stirred within the Dominion. Captain Rethnal's faction grew bolder, advocating for peace talks and a new order. But zealots loyal to Zal resisted fiercely. Assassinations and sabotage became common, fracturing their ranks further. On Earth, the civilian population bore the war's scars. Cities rebuilt from ruins, communities shattered but resilient. Ilara visited hospitals, speaking to survivors and wounded soldiers. Their stories of sacrifice steeled her resolve. "We fight for every one of them," she whispered. In deep space, the Veil-born Watchers made their presence felt. Their dreadnoughts unleashed weapons that bent reality, tearing through fleets and destabilizing star systems. Humanity and its allies struggled to contain the onslaught. Ilara faced the grim truth. The war was expanding into realms beyond comprehension. As battles raged, the true depth of humanity's hidden power began to emerge. Ancient bioengineered titans awakened, war machines of old Earth legends brought to terrifying life. Leviathans rampaged through Dominion fleets, their biomechanical bodies resistant to most weapons. Deadwalkers stalked battlefields, living nightmares that inspired dread. The war was no longer just for survival, it was a war for the galaxy's soul. Ilara stood firm amid the chaos. "This is our fight. We are the armada that came when no one else would." As the conflict intensifies, Earth's armada faces relentless Dominion counterattacks and the sinister Veil-born forces. Battles rage across devastated worlds, and in the vastness of space, testing humanity's resilience and ingenuity. Ancient Earth secrets awaken terrifying powers, shifting the tide. Betrayals and unexpected alliances add layers of danger, and intrigue, setting the stage for a climactic struggle for galactic supremacy. The vacuum of space was a roaring battlefield. From the bridge of the Valiant Dawn, Commander Ilara watched the unfolding carnage, a violent storm of fire, plasma, and shattering explosions. Dominion warships pressed their assault with brutal tenacity, their numbers seemingly endless. Yet the human armada responded with unmatched coordination and lethal precision. "Deploy the gravitic mines," Ilara ordered. "Set traps in the asteroid belt and near Europa's orbit. We'll choke their reinforcements." The fleet obeyed, sleek frigates weaving through debris, launching invisible snares that pulsed with disruptive energy. Below, Lieutenant Haroun led his squad through the scorched ruins of a Martian colony. The ground trembled with each explosion. Dominion heavy walkers thundered forward, casting long shadows. "Hold your positions," Harun shouted. "Dead walkers, flank left, infantry, cover fire." The towering bioengineered beasts surged ahead, their razor claws cleaving through enemy armor. Harun marveled at the creature's blend of primal fury and advanced cybernetics, a weapon crafted from humanity's darkest myths and highest science. In orbital labs, Dr. Kiran Malhotra supervised the integration of newly recovered ancient technologies. "We're enhancing our starship shields with crystalline energy matrices," he explained to Ilara. "This will allow us to withstand the Dominion's gravitic cannons." Ilara nodded, determination in her eyes. "We must turn their weapons against them." Meanwhile, the Dominion's High Commander Zal grew desperate. Their supply lines were severed, fleets fragmented, and morale plummeting. "Mobilize." "The Scourge cannons!" he snarled. "Burn their worlds if we cannot hold them." Orbital bombardments decimated planetary cities, killing thousands. Humanity's resolve was tested as civilian casualties mounted. Political strife fractured the Dominion further. Captain Rethnal, once a loyalist, secretly brokered peace talks with the Avir Collective and human diplomats. But zealots loyal to Zal assassinated key figures, plunging the Dominion into civil war. The Veilborn Watchers revealed more of their ominous presence. Their dreadnoughts warped space with reality-bending weaponry, shredding entire fleets. Humanity's scientists scrambled to understand these technologies. Racing against time, in a desperate bid, Ilara authorized a covert strike team to infiltrate a Dominion command station and steal weapon schematics. Lieutenant Harun volunteered. "This mission will be dangerous," Ilara warned. "But success will save countless lives." Harun's team penetrated enemy defenses with stealth and cunning. They retrieved critical data, but were ambushed on extraction. A fierce firefight ensued beneath alien towers and shattered skies. As battles raged, ancient Earth forces awakened. Leviathan's titanic war beasts thought myth marched alongside human troops, devastating Dominion lines. Deadwalkers stalked battlefields, unstoppable predators inspiring terror. The war stretched across stars and worlds. Humanity's armada fought not just for Earth, but for the freedom of the galaxy. Ilara's voice echoed through comms. "We are the storm no one expected. We are the armada that came when hope was lost." The conflict reaches new depths as Earth's armada confronts fierce Dominion resistance and the enigmatic Veilborn. Ancient technologies awaken terrifying forces while political intrigue threatens alliances. Humanity must balance brutal combat with strategic diplomacy as the war's true stakes emerge, setting the stage for an epic showdown. The cosmos churned with the chaos of war. Blazing starships tore through dark voids, weaving intricate patterns of destruction and survival. The battle for the galaxy's future unfolded on multiple fronts, above shattered worlds, in hidden underground bases, and across the endless Black Sea. Commander Ilara stood on the bridge of the Valiant Dawn, her eyes scanning the tactical displays that flickered with streams of incoming data and battle reports. Veil-born dreadnoughts detected on the outer edge of the system, reported Captain Mia Torres, her voice tense but steady. "They're deploying reality-warping weapons. We need to respond fast." Ilara nodded sharply. "Prepare countermeasures, deploy adaptive shield arrays, and reinforce forward positions." Meanwhile, beneath the ice of Europa, Dr. Kiran Malhotra and his research team worked feverishly in an underground laboratory. Ancient crystalline structures pulsed with energy, their power linked to the shield generators powering human fleets. "We're tapping into pre-Dominion tech," Kiran explained during a briefing. "This energy could neutralize the Veilborn's reality distortions, Ilara listened, the weight of hope pressing heavily upon her. The Dominion's High Commander Zal refused to yield. Their forces launched devastating counterattacks, targeting supply chains and communication networks. Orbital bombardments raised. Cities and Dominion infantry pressed hard against human ground forces. Lieutenant Haroun's squad fought desperately amid ruined Martian settlements. "We can't hold much longer," he radioed, requesting immediate reinforcements. Tensions within the Dominion deepened. Captain Rethnal's faction pushed for peace talks, wary of total collapse. But extremist zealots orchestrated assassinations, plunging the Empire into internal conflict. Amid these mortal struggles, the Veilborn Watchers took a more direct role. Their dreadnoughts unleashed weapons that tore through space and time. Entire fleets vanished in bursts of impossible energy. Human scientists scrambled to understand and counter these existential threats. Ilara's commanders debated risky strategies. "Engage in diplomacy with the other collective," urged Ambassador Lyria. "Their knowledge is vital." "But the Veilborn loom," cautioned General Malik. "We must prepare for the worst." Ilara balanced these voices carefully, her decisions bearing the weight of countless lives. On distant battlefields, Leviathans and Deadwalkers tore through enemy lines with primal ferocity. Their monstrous forms combined ancient power with cutting-edge enhancements, symbols of humanity's fierce will to survive. In covert operations, special forces infiltrated Dominion command centers, stealing weapon, designs and critical intelligence. Lieutenant Haroun led daring raids, barely escaping with vital data under fire. The war's scope expanded beyond imagination. It was no longer simply Earth's fight. It was a cosmic struggle for existence itself. Ilara's voice resonated across the Armada. "We are the shield between darkness and light. We are the hope of a galaxy on the brink." The war escalates into an intense, sprawling conflict as Earth's Armada and allies face overwhelming Dominion counterattacks and the enigmatic Veilborn's devastating power. Ancient secrets are unlocked, alliances are tested, and the line between victory and destruction grows razor-thin. Humanity must confront betrayals and rising cosmic dangers to survive and change the galaxy forever. Space was no longer empty. It pulsed with the deadly ballet of warships, their weapons painting. The void in brilliant streaks of light and fire. The clash between Earth's Armada and the Dominion fleet had escalated beyond any prediction, with the Veilborn lurking like silent predators beyond known space, their inscrutable motives a shadow over every engagement. Commander Ilara stood on the bridge of the Valiant Dawn, eyes sharp beneath the harsh glow of tactical displays. The map of battle was a swirl of red and blue, Dominion forces pressing hard, humanity's fleet holding ground but bleeding. Veilborn dreadnoughts detected near the Oort cloud, Captain Mia Torres reported, her voice taut. "Their weapons are warping space-time. They're tearing through our outer defenses." Ilara's jaw tightened. "Deploy adaptive shield arrays and coordinate with Aver fleet units. We cannot allow them to breach the system." "Orders acknowledged," came the quick responses across the comms. Below the icy surface of Europa, the research team struggled to unlock the power of ancient crystalline arrays hidden for eons beneath layers of ice. Dr. Kiran Malhotra's fingers danced over holographic data, sweat beading on his brow. "We found a resonance pattern that could amplify our shield generators by over 300%, he explained, voice filled with cautious hope. Ilara leaned in, her resolve hardening. "If we can harness this, it could turn the tide against the Veilborn's reality distortions." On Mars, Lieutenant Haroun led his squad through the scorched ruins of a once bustling colony, now a maze of debris and fire. The Dominion's heavy artillery pounded the perimeter relentlessly. "Hold position. The reinforcements are delayed," Haroun barked into his comlink. "Deadwalkers, prepare for close engagement." The bioengineered war beasts roared in response, tearing into advancing Dominion walkers with primal fury. But the Dominion was far from broken. High Commander Zal, his face etched with desperation and fury, orchestrated a brutal counter-offensive. "Launch Scourge cannons on human supply hubs," he ordered. "Let the fires remind them of what defiance costs." Orbital bombardments rained death across planetary surfaces, leveling entire cities and killing thousands. Within the Dominion's fractured ranks, Captain Rethnal struggled to maintain control. His faction advocated for peace, but zealots loyal to Zal launched deadly assassinations, fracturing any hope for unity. Meanwhile, the Veilborn unleashed chaos from the shadows. Their dreadnoughts, ancient and terrifying, warped space and time itself. Entire fleets vanished in bursts of incomprehensible energy. Humanity's scientists raced against time, crafting new weapons and shields from both Earth's ancient secrets and Aver technologies. Amidst this turmoil, Ilara convened with her top commanders and diplomats. "Negotiations with the Aver continue, but the Veilborn threat grows," she warned. "We must prepare for all outcomes." On battlefields across the solar system, human forces fought with unyielding resolve. Leviathans and Deadwalkers carved swathes through enemy lines, their terrifying presence a symbol of humanity's relentless spirit. Special operations led by Lieutenant Harun infiltrated Dominion command centers, stealing vital intelligence and disrupting enemy logistics. As the war dragged on, the galaxy's fate hung in the balance. But humanity, battered but unbroken, pushed forward. Ilara's voice echoed through the Armada's comms, steady and resolute. "We are the storm no one expected. We are the Armada that came when the galaxy thought it was safe." With the war reaching its most brutal phase, humanity's forces grapple with devastating losses, political intrigue, and the Veilborn's cosmic menace. Ancient powers awaken, alliances are tested, and desperate gambits risk everything. Commander, Ilara leads with unwavering resolve, preparing for the decisive battles that will determine the galaxy's fate. The void itself seemed to scream as battle lines erupted across the outer reaches of the solar system. Starships clashed with ferocious intensity, plasma bolts streaking past fractured moons and asteroids, lighting the blackness with deadly brilliance. Commander Ilara stood on the bridge of the valiant dawn, her eyes a storm of determination as reports flooded in from every front. Veilborn dreadnoughts approaching Jupiter's orbit, Captain Mia Torres reported. Their weapons distort space-time. Entire squadrons are vanishing. Ilara's jaw clenched. Deploy the crystalline shield generators. Synchronize with Avia energy arrays. The ship's hum deepened as ancient tech merged with modern systems, forming a shield strong enough to hold back the alien onslaught. Deep beneath the ice of Europa, Dr. Kiran Malhotra's team worked against time. Crystalline structures pulsed with raw power, feeding energy into the shield generators orbiting above. "This resonance could be the key," Kiran said breathlessly. "If we push too hard, though, it might destabilize." Ilara's voice cut through the tension. "We don't have a choice." Mars burned as Dominion forces pressed their brutal counterattack. Lieutenant Harun rallied his troops amid the ruins, coordinating with Deadwalkers whose razor-sharp limbs shredded enemy armor and soldiers alike. "We hold here," Harun shouted. "Reinforcements inbound." The Deadwalkers roared their ascent, a terrifying symphony of primal rage and engineered lethality. But the Dominion's desperation bred darkness. High Commander Zal activated the Scourge cannons again, leveling vast swaths of cities and civilian populations in a ruthless display of power. Assassinations and sabotage fractured the Dominion's ranks further. Captain Rethnal's hopes for peace grew dimmer as extremist zealots seized control of key sectors. Beyond known space, the Veilborn revealed new horrors. Their dreadnoughts bent reality, collapsing entire fleets into voids of nothingness. Human scientists and Avar-engineers raced to understand these cosmic weapons, creating countermeasures blending Earth's ancient tech with alien innovations. Political storms brewed among the allies. Tensions between humans and Avar flared over strategy and leadership. Ilara mediated with steady resolve, balancing military necessity with fragile diplomacy. On the battlefields, ancient Earth powers awakened. Leviathans tore through Dominion ranks with unstoppable force. Deadwalkers hunted like ghosts in ruined cities, symbols of humanity's fierce will. Special forces led daring raids deep into Dominion territory, stealing plans and crippling enemy operations. Lieutenant Harun's team narrowly escaped a deadly trap, their success critical to upcoming campaigns. As the war's shadow lengthened, Ilara addressed her armada. "We fight not just for survival," she declared. "We fight for the future of every star and every soul." The galaxy watched, breath held, as humanity's mightiest armada prepared for the final storm. The war's intensity reaches new heights as Earth's armada faces overwhelming Dominion forces bolstered by the Veilborn's otherworldly power. Battles rage on shattered planets and in deep space, pushing humanity's technology and spirit to their limits. Betrayals erupt, alliances shift, and ancient secrets threaten to change everything in this desperate fight for survival. The darkness of space was alive with fire and fury. Starships clashed in bursts of brilliant light and crushing force, weaving deadly patterns of destruction across the void. The galaxy had become a crucible where humanity's endurance and resolve were tested like never before. Commander Ilara stood on the Valiant Dawn's bridge, eyes burning with focus as tactical displays painted a chaotic picture of battle. Dominion fleets have regrouped near Saturn's rings, Captain Mia Torres reported. Veilborn dreadnoughts are with them, their weapons warping reality itself. Ilara's voice was steady, commanding. "Coordinate with Avar forces. Deploy gravitic mines and shield enhancers. We cannot let them break through." Below the swirling storms of Jupiter, Leviathans prowled the upper atmosphere, their biomechanical forms tearing through Dominion assault crafts. Their roar echoed through the gas giant's layers, a terrifying chorus of primal power fused with cutting-edge engineering. On Titan, Lieutenant Harun led ground forces battling Dominion troops entrenched in frozen wastelands. "Press the attack. We must hold the moon's command center," Harun shouted, dodging plasma fire. The Deadwalkers, his terrifying allies, moved through the battlefield with ruthless efficiency, their claws and teeth shredding enemy armor. In the deep, orbital labs, Dr. Kiran Malhotra's team deciphered encrypted Veilborn technology. The secrets hidden within challenged human understanding of physics and existence. "We're close to unlocking energy fields that could neutralize Veilborn distortions," Kiran said, his voice a mix of excitement and concern. Ilara nodded grimly. "We need every advantage we can get." Meanwhile, Dominion High Commander Zal unleashed his last reserves in a desperate bid to crush humanity. Orbital bombardments ravaged colonies and supply hubs, while Dominion ground forces launched ferocious counterattacks. Political infighting worsened as extremist factions vied for control, weakening the Dominion from within. Captain Rethnal's faction grew in strength, seeking to end the war through diplomacy, but his efforts were hindered by assassinations and sabotage from loyalists unwilling to relinquish power. The Veilborn's mysterious presence deepened. Their dreadnoughts used reality-warping weapons to devastating effect, collapsing entire fleets and destabilizing star systems. Humanity's scientists worked feverishly to devise defenses, integrating ancient Earth technology and Avar innovations. On the battlefield, the Leviathans and Deadwalkers continued their devastating assault. The bioengineered titans carved swathes through Dominion ranks, inspiring hope and terror in equal measure. Special forces led daring raids deep into Dominion command centers. Lieutenant Haroon's team secured vital intelligence but suffered heavy casualties during extraction. The war's stakes had never been higher. Ilara's voice rang clear across comms. We are the armada the galaxy never saw coming. We fight for all who call the stars home. The conflict reaches its peak as Earth's forces and their allies launch a decisive offensive against the Dominion's core worlds. Betrayals ignite turmoil, and the Veilborn's power threatens to overwhelm both sides. With ancient Earth secrets unleashed and sacrifices mounting, humanity stands on the brink of victory or extinction in a final cataclysmic battle. The stars themselves seem to shudder under the weight of war. From the valiant dawn, Commander Ilara watched as fleets swarmed the Dominion's heartworld, a planet of towering spires, mechanized fortresses, and endless battalions. Prepare for orbital assault, Ilara commanded, her voice resolute. We strike at their command nexus. This ends now. Captain Mia Torres nodded. All units ready, weapon systems charged. Below, on the ravaged surface, Lieutenant Haroon marshaled ground forces amid ruins. The air was thick with smoke and the roar of distant artillery. Hold formation, Haroon shouted. Deadwalkers flank left, we take the command center. The massive bioengineered beasts moved with terrifying speed, their claws ripping through enemy defenses. In the orbital labs, Dr. Kiran Malhotra activated the ancient weapon system uncovered beneath Europa's ice. The energy pulse will disrupt Dominion shields and disable Veilborn weapons, Kiran explained. Ilara nodded. It's a gamble, but one we must take. The Dominion fought fiercely to protect their home. High Commander Zal ordered the activation of the Scourge weapon, a devastating cannon capable of planetary destruction. Fire when ready, he snarled. But betrayal struck deep within the Dominion's ranks. Captain Rethnal's faction attempted a coup, seeking to end the bloodshed. Assassins moved through shadowed corridors, and chaos erupted in the command towers. The Veilborn unleashed their dreadnoughts with renewed fury. Reality-warping beams tore through human fleets, scattering ships into voids of non-existence. Ilara's fleet struggled to maintain cohesion amid the onslaught. On the ground, human and bioengineered forces pressed forward relentlessly. The command center loomed ahead, heavily fortified. Haroon's squad breached the outer defenses, battling through corridors of steel and fire. In space, the ancient weapon's pulse rippled outward, shattering Dominion shields and disrupting Veilborn weapons. Ships faltered and retreated. The battle reached a fever pitch. Ilara's voice echoed through comms. This is the moment, for Earth, for humanity, for the galaxy. As the dust settled, the Dominion's grip crumbled, but victory came at a staggering cost. The galaxy was forever changed. In the aftermath of the climactic battle, the fragile peace is tested by political machinations, lingering threats, and cosmic mysteries. Humanity begins rebuilding, but must confront betrayals and new dangers. Commander Ilara navigates this turbulent landscape, determined to secure a future for all. But the galaxy's shadows hold secrets that could ignite war once more. The silence after the storm was uneasy, heavy with the weight of loss and uncertain hope. Commander Ilara stood on the observation deck of the Aegis Ascendant, gazing out at a galaxy forever changed by war. The stars, once bright with promise, now flickered with the scars of conflict. Behind her, the soft hum of the ship's systems was a fragile reminder of peace. Is it really over? Lieutenant Haroon asked, stepping beside her, voice low and thoughtful. Ilara didn't turn. Not yet. Peace is a beginning, not an end. The Dominion, fractured and defeated, struggled to redefine itself. Captain Rethnal emerged as a cautious leader, pushing for rebuilding and reconciliation. But many within the Dominion resisted, clinging to old grudges and ambitions. Sabotage and assassination attempts were frequent, threatening to unravel the fragile truce. Meanwhile, the Avir Collective deepened their alliance with humanity, sharing technology and knowledge to heal war-torn worlds. Yet, within their ranks, whispers of distrust and ulterior motives simmered. On Earth, cities rose from ruins. The scars of war were deep, but so was the resilience of those who survived. Ilara traveled widely, inspiring hope and unity. "We survived the darkest night," she told crowds of survivors. "Now we build a future worthy of our sacrifice." But shadows lurked beyond known space. The Veilborn Watchers remained silent but vigilant, their cryptic warnings echoing in diplomatic channels. The reckoning is far from done. Political intrigue, complicated efforts to forge lasting peace. The newly formed Galactic Council grappled with old rivalries and new challenges. Ilara found herself navigating a maze of alliances, betrayals, and hard compromises. In quieter moments, Ilara mourned those lost. The cost of victory weighed heavily. She vowed to honor their memory by forging a galaxy where such war would never again be necessary. Yet, as peace settled, she knew the galaxy's secrets were far from fully revealed. The true test was only beginning. As the dust of war settles, humanity stands at the dawn of a new era, scarred but unbroken. Commander Ilara reflects on the profound costs, the victories hard-earned, and the uncertain road ahead. With ancient mysteries still lurking and cosmic forces watching from the shadows, the galaxy braces for the next chapter, one defined not by war, but by the fragile hope for lasting peace and unity. The stars twinkled softly beyond the viewport, a calm contrast to the turmoil that had shaken the galaxy. Commander Ilara stood alone on the observation deck of the Aegis Ascendant, her silhouette outlined against the endless expanse of space. She allowed herself a moment of quiet reflection, the weight of the journey settling deep within her bones. The war had changed everything. Gone were the days when Earth was dismissed as a primitive world. A footnote in galactic history, humanity had risen from ashes and ruin to claim its place among the stars, not as victims, but as architects of their own destiny. Ilara's thoughts drifted to those lost in the relentless conflict, soldiers who had fought with fierce loyalty, scientists who had pushed the boundaries of knowledge, civilians caught in the crossfire. Their sacrifices were etched into every victory, every hard-won inch of space reclaimed. Yet peace was no simple reprieve. Scars ran deep, entire worlds lay in ruin. Civilizations had been fractured. Old rivalries simmered beneath diplomatic veneers, and new threats whispered from the farthest reaches of the void. The Veilborn Watchers, enigmatic and inscrutable, lingered in the cosmic shadows, their intentions veiled but undeniably powerful. Their cryptic messages haunted diplomatic channels. The reckoning will come. Humanity, wise from hard-earned experience, remained vigilant. On the political stage, the newly formed Galactic Council wrestled with the immense task of rebuilding. Ilara served as a leader and mediator, balancing hope with pragmatism. She journeyed across war-ravaged systems, inspiring unity and resilience. In one speech that echoed across communications networks, she declared, "We are the heirs of our past and the guardians of our future. Let the light of our unity outshine the darkness of our history." Technological marvels born from ancient Earth secrets and alien cooperation heralded a new age. Starships soared with unprecedented speed and power. Healing technologies restored shattered worlds. Energy fields shimmered with untapped potential. But Ilara knew the galaxy's future was a fragile promise. Beneath the surface, in the cold depths of space and the hidden halls of power, secrets stirred, secrets that could ignite conflict anew. She looked out once more at the endless stars and whispered a vow. "We will protect this peace. We will honor those who came before, and we will face whatever comes next, together." The galaxy exhaled, a breath of relief, a moment of hope. Humanity's chapter had just begun. The galaxy was quiet, for the first time in decades, but silence in the cosmos was never truly peace. Commander Ilara stood aboard the Aegis Ascendant, watching the star fields drift like silver rivers through the black. The war was over, yes, the Dominion shattered, the Veilborn's immediate threat blunted. Yet the cost had been staggering. From the ashes of conflict rose a fragile coalition. Humans, Avir, former Dominion factions, and many more races scarred by war, but yearning for unity. The Galactic Council, born from necessity, was tasked with weaving the disparate threads of peace. It was a monumental challenge. "History remembers the victors," Ilara said quietly during a council meeting, her voice steady but tired. "But peace must be more than survival. It must be justice, compassion, and vigilance." Her words struck chords and sparked debates. Some pushed for swift rebuilding and aggressive expansion to secure dominance. Others urged caution, diplomacy, and healing. The wounds ran deep. Planets lay deserted. Cities reduced to ruins. Families torn apart. Reconstruction was a race against time, and against those who sought to exploit chaos. Among the shadows lurked factions unwilling to surrender old grievances, secret militias trained in forgotten arts. Radical zealots preached vengeance, unseen conspiracies twisted corridors of power. The Veilborn watchers, enigmatic and silent, observed from beyond known space. Their ancient eyes missed nothing. Their cryptic transmissions warned of a reckoning still to come. Humanity and its allies listened and prepared. On Earth, the pulse of life returned slowly. Skyscrapers rose from rubble. Ecosystems healed with human ingenuity and alien technology. Cities buzzed with renewed energy, a testament to resilience. Ilara traveled widely, meeting survivors and leaders. She saw hope flickering in eyes once hollowed by war. She heard stories of sacrifice and courage, binding the galaxy's disparate souls. Yet even as light grew, shadows stretched longer. The ancient technologies unlocked during war whispered secrets. Artifacts pulsed with strange energies. Some spoke of gates to realms unknown. Others hinted at powers beyond comprehension. Scholars and scientists debated endlessly. Was this the next step in evolution, or the beginning of a new, unseen peril? Political intrigue tightened its grip. Old alliances strained. New ones formed cautiously. Ilara knew leadership was now a mantle heavier than ever. The line between guardian and warrior blurred. She convened with her closest advisors aboard the Aegis. "Ascendant, we must be vigilant," she warned. "The peace we forged is precious and fragile." The stars awaited. The galaxy's next chapter was unwritten, and humanity, tempered in the fires of war, stood ready.